family. This is C7, the HOA Homesteader. Today, I'm going to be canning some okra that I grew in my garden last year, and it's been in the freezer. And I need the freezer space, and I can preserve it much longer by placing it in some jars. So I'm going to be using pipe-sized jars today, and I got 3 1-gallon bags of okra to process. And what I'm going to do is rinse those off, of course, and clean them up a little bit better. I got to slightly cook them before placing them in the jars. And while that's happening, I'm going to sterilize my jars in the oven. So that's what I have planned for today. And I thank you guys for coming along with me. I'm not an expert at this, but I just want to show you guys that it can be done. Follow your guidelines in your pressure canning booklets, and follow credible people on YouTube such as Homestead Heart. That's how I chose to follow and learn about canning. So with that said, I'm going to move on and go ahead and get started. Some of the stuff that I set out already. Like I've said in previous videos, get your equipment ready before you start. You won't be fumbling around the kitchen. So I got my okra, my cookie sheet for my jars. I'm just only going to be putting in garlic powder and kosher salt in the jars, half a teaspoon per jar. And then my canning equipment. Okay, I got my pressure canner in place and my pot that I'm gonna cook the okra down in. And what I still need to do is put some oil around the seal and some cooking spray. Make sure it's oiled up real good, but before I use it. Oiling down my inner ring, my inner seal. Got the jars in the oven at 180. Need to stay at that temperature for at least 10 minutes. So I'm about to set my timer. Start. Just making sure that I cut the stems off. You need to cover them with water. All right, y'all. I done did 2 of the bags so far, and I'm not sure if I have enough jars, so I'm gonna stop right there. I just got to get these in a pot. They need to be covered with water. Bring to a boil. Reduce the heat and only cook for a couple of minutes. Meantime, the jars are finished processing. They're just still in the oven, keeping warm. You got warm food. You got warm jars. You have to have a warm water in the processing plant. So our the processing pot. So I already started heating the water up in here also. All right. A bowl of vinegar to wipe my top of my jars off before I place the lids on them. A little half a teaspoon. Well, the timer just went off on the okra, so it's time to get the jars out of the oven and get this okra inside the jars and finish this process. Once I'm done getting them into the jars, I'm gonna add this hot liquid and leave a 1-inch headspace. That's what the book said to do. All right, I know it looks like some are protruding out of the jars, but once I use my debubbler and move them around, push them down, maybe cut some of them that needs to be cut in half. Get them down in there. They're so soft. I don't know why you can't do this process without cooking them. Just doing like pickles seemed like would have been better to me, but I followed the instructions in the book. And if you didn't know, one of the tricks of measuring a 1-inch headspace, if you don't have the actual ruler like on the end of your debubbler, you always can go by the jar. The bottom ring to the top of the lid is 1 inch. And each one of the lines represent a different height. So start at 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. That's the easy way to do it. All right, let's clean these rims off. Vinegar. Take the towel. Alright guys, I'm ready for my lids. Have them in the saucepan. Heated them up and then reduce it down to low. About like that. Want to make sure you're grabbing just one. Definitely glad I didn't process that third bag. And I got a couple more still in the pot, not many. So it's just about right. 2 bags, pint-sized jars, 9 jars in total. So to make them kind of even in the processing plant, since I got to do two loads, I'm probably going to do 4 and then I'll do 5. I can stack them if I had another rack. I don't think I got another rack, but I could use other lids. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to process it twice. So I'll put 5 in the first time and 4 in the second time to finish this here. My rings, fingertip tight, that's all they need to be. Well, I was able to get all 9 pint jars inside, which is a good thing because I just had thought, hey, I can't let the jars sit out and wait for the first batch to process, because then the jars would have cooled off. The brine inside the jars probably cooled off. So I got lucky. I'll take that. And so now I got everything in there. I got my canner going. I'm waiting to get a steady stream of steam coming up out of the pipe. Once I see that, I can place my regulator on top and wait till my pressure get between 10,000 and 11,000 pounds of pressure. I reach that based on the elevation that I live in. So once I get there, then I can start my processing time of 25 minutes. All right, hang in there, people. All right, we've reached the 10 minutes of steady flow of steam, so I'm going ahead and put the regulator on. Once the pressure builds up between 10,000 and 11,000 pounds, I'll start my timer for 25 minutes. And meantime, in between time, clean up what I messed up so far. Clean as you go, can't go wrong. All right, the pressure gauge is at 10,000, so it's time to set the timer for 25 minutes. All right, the timer's going off, so time to turn the heat source off. Gotta let the pressure back all the way down to 0. Once it gets to 0, then I can pull my regulator back off. Okay, the pressure has zeroed out, so it's okay to move the regulator. Now that I've removed the regulator, I'm still going to let it sit for a little while until this pin inside here drops. Pin drop, it's okay to remove the lid. Some people still wait an additional 5 minutes or so. You don't have to. Twist. Turn it away from you so the steam don't flow up in your face. Let it drip down. Set the lid off to the side. Oh, some of them popping already. Remove my okra. All right, there's your finished product. Canned okra. I had to make room in the freezer. And of course, once you can them, they'll last a lot longer, just in case the freezer go out and the power goes off. This is the best way to preserve your food. All right, family, that's it. That's how I process my okra. Took them from frozen okra to canned okra through a pressure canner. So every pressure canner is different. So depending on the brand that you purchase, make sure you understand, read and understand the instructions that go with that pressure canner, the amount of water that you need to put in there, and everything else that goes with it. Or get you some pressure cannon books, literature. Let me close out by just saying, you guys have been with C7, the HOA Homesteader. And you know what my motto is, people. Just because you may live in the HOA doesn't mean that you cannot grow food. Learn how to can, preserve your own food, people. And until next time, you guys take care of yourselves and have a great day.